that you are a leader in your special right, in your own right. The fact that you have someone to lead, that is you, it makes you a leader. So even this is for you. So we touched on a few things last week, the potential of your leadership. This is what we said last week, that the potential of your leadership is a reflection of the quality of your habits. So the potential of your leadership is a reflection of the quality of your habits. Wow. So the potential of your leadership is a reflection. Maybe I will add this one as well. It's a direct reflection of the quality of your habits. Let that sink in a little bit. So I'm just giving you a summary. So to maximize your leadership impact, you don't want to just develop right habits. You also need to eliminate the wrong habits. So to maximize your leadership impact in every area, be it it's personal and so forth. So to maximize your leadership impact, you don't just want to develop the right habits, you also want to eliminate the wrong habits. I'm just giving you a summary of what we were talking about last week. So if you want to change your leadership, change your habits. You know, we have a lot of people around who will be saying, I want to change this, I want to change, but they keep on doing the same things. They keep on applying the same habits in their daily routine, in their daily lives, but they want change. So if you want to change your leadership, change your habits. That's as simple as that. You know, if you want to change your leadership, change your habits. And we went on last week in this subject to say, what are the habits that you need to avoid? Number one, habit of doing too much. So as a person, as a leader, you need to avoid doing too much. You need to find yourself in a place whereby you are no longer doing too much. This is the most common bad habit that limits leaders all over the world. So this is a most common bad habit that limits leaders all over the world. So this is not an African thing. It's a world thing where leaders around the world are falling into this trap of doing too much. You know, we become result driven and so forth. And so doing too much doesn't just steal your energy, it suffocates your productivity. So as a leader, you must avoid this habit or this trap of doing too much, because doing too much doesn't just steal your energy. So in other words, doing too much steals your energy. So it doesn't just steal your energy, it suffocates your productivity. Wow. So doing too much doesn't just steal your energy, it suffocates your productivity. You know, I don't know about you, but many of us are finding ourselves in a place whereby we are not productive, but we are doing too much. You know, we just find it like, I'm doing this, but I'm not productive. I'm not having impact in this. Why? Because we are doing too much. So doing too much doesn't just steal our energy. It steals or it suffocates our productivity. So we don't just want to be busy. We want to be effective, impactful, and productive. We don't want to be looked at as, oh, wow, these people are so busy. You know, we don't just want to be busy people. We want to be people who are effective, who are impactful, and who are productive. You know, and all that. Let me read that line again. Let me say it again so that you hear it. So you don't just, doing too much doesn't just steal your energy. It suffocates your productivity. You know, you can do too much. At the end of the day, you are so tired. You don't even have time for you. You don't even have time for your loved ones and those you are close to. But you find you are tired. But if you look back at what you have done, you find out that you were not even productive. but your energy is gone, but there is no productivity. So doing too much doesn't just steal your energy, it suffocates your productivity. We don't just want to be busy, but we want to be effective, impactful, and productive. We don't just want to be busy, but we want to be effective, impactful, and productive. Wow. So I don't want to just be busy. I want to be effective in what I do. I want to be productive on what I do. I want to be impactful on what I want to do. So you don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. Wow, this one deserves a little bit of a clap. So you don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. Other words, prioritize. So you'll have to prioritize. So you don't just grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. Wow. You don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. Growing impact starts with subtraction, not addition. So if you want to grow, and I believe you want to grow, if you want to grow as a person, there are things that you need to subtract from your own life that are not being that productivity that you're looking for. So growing impact starts with subtraction, not addition. So you don't grow by doing more, you grow by doing more of what matters most. Wow. So you grow by doing more of what matters most. So growing impact starts with subtraction, not addition. Just because you could do something, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Let's pause. Just because you could do something doesn't mean you should. Many of us are in this trap of thinking that because I can do this thing, I should do it. No. So this is the art of practicing your no. Just because you could do something, it doesn't mean you should. Just because you could do something, it doesn't mean you should. Wow. Just because you could do something, it doesn't mean you should. So if you want to grow, you are required to start the habit of saying no. If you want to grow, you are going to start the habit of saying no. I know many of us are struggling with saying no because we don't want to offend people. We think it's not nice and so forth. But in reality, to be honest, you don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. So you will have to say no to certain things and say yes to what matters most. You are going to subtract certain things that are not beneficial to you. You are going to look at it and say, look, I'm not being productive in this. It's not effective. It's not impacting anything or anyone. Therefore, I'm going to say no to this. Wow. So it's a summary of what we have discussed last week. It's a summary of what we were discussing last week, So you don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. Wow. Doing too much doesn't just steal your energy. it suffocates your productivity. Doing too much, it doesn't just steal your energy, it suffocates your productivity. Today, I want us to talk about this one, the habit of avoiding conflict. The habit of avoiding conflict. Share with your contacts. We are talking about it. The habit of avoiding conflict. It's a bad habit. Share with others right now. Your unwillingness to delegate will inevitably become the bottleneck that strangles your team's potential. Wow. Unresolved problems rarely fix themselves. So, I don't know about you, but I meet quite a lot of people, and I think I was also one of those people who avoided. I just avoided conflict, and so forth. And I don't know, maybe you are also one of those who just don't like conflict. When you hear the word conflict, it messes up with your day and you think, you know what, not me. But conflicts are good. Unresolved problems rarely fix themselves. Don't leave problems to time. Don't leave it to time. Don't leave it and say it will get better with time. It might not get better with time. It might get worse. So unresolved problems rarely fix themselves. So you are going to change your mindset about conflict. When you hear of a word conflict, or you find yourself in conflict, I'm advising that your mindset should be that of somebody who sees an opportunity in conflict. Thank you so much, BJP. Much appreciated. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Coca, for joining. So when you hear a word conflict, you are not going to run away starting from today. When you hear you find yourself in the midst of conflict, you are not going to run away, because conflict are good. Well, wow, conflict. Did you just say that? Did you just say conflicts are good? You need conflicts are there. They are needed. It's part and parcel of life. You cannot go through life without going through conflicts. You have people who don't like conflicts at all. They hate conflicts with passion and so forth. But you are denying yourself an opportunity to be stretched, to be strengthened, and to grow, because we grow in conflict. Wow. So unresolved problems rarely fix themselves. So we have to change how we think about conflict. Conflict doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. Wow. So conflict, it doesn't mean the relationship is coming to an end. Unfortunately, many of us were not taught all this. When we find ourselves in conflict and we think, oh, this is the end. But conflict, it doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. It's actually often a chance to strengthen the relationship. Let me say that again. So conflict doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. It's actually often a chance to strengthen the relationship. Many of us, as I was saying, that we were taught that, when you are arguing, you find people arguing and all that, we're like, it's the end of the relationship. We take it, in Pedi, I think it's Pedi, or in Zulu, but Gaspedi Baroskaitsia Gamafat, or Kalefata, or something like that. But I like how they respond to this, but they said nothing personal. It has to happen, because if it doesn't happen, we're not going to grow. So it has to happen so that we grow. Conflict doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. It's actually often a chance to strengthen their relationship. Wow. So don't be afraid of conflict. Don't be afraid of conflict. It's a pity and it's a reality that there are some, even if you can come and say, I'm not afraid of conflict, you will find others who are afraid of conflict, who don't know how to deal with this thing called conflict. So don't be afraid of conflict. Be afraid of unresolved conflict. Wow. Let's say it again. Don't be afraid of conflict. Be afraid of unresolved conflict. So don't be afraid of conflict. Conflict is there. It should be there. But be afraid of unresolved conflict. Wow. I want you to pause on this one. Don't be afraid of conflict. But be afraid of unresolved conflict. Wow. See problems early and solve them quickly. See problems early and solve them quickly. Don't postpone problems. Don't take it there. Remember, it will not deal with itself. See them early, identify them early, and solve them quickly. It is John C. Maxwell who said, conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. Conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. Conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. So you have to see problems early and solve them quickly. You have to detect them early. Don't allow them to grow to a point whereby the day you decide to deal with it, you can't, because now the problem is beyond, is big. See problems early and solve them quickly. Wow. Be willing to hush it and walk out united. Let me say that again. Be willing to hush it and walk out united. What does that mean? Healthy conflict isn't about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. So healthy conflict is not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. Healthy conflict, it's not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. Let's share that with others. Healthy conflict, it's not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. It's unfortunate that you are going to find yourself in conflict with people who want to win. They want to win because they feel they are right. But healthy conflict is not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. Wow. Let's say that again. Healthy conflict is not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. So the next time you find yourself in conflict with any person, be it in your company, be it in your relationship, remember these words. It's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about growing. It's about learning. So healthy conflict It's not about winning or losing. It's about growing. It's about learning. So every time you get into a conflict or you find yourself into a conflict, know this and remind yourself it's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about growing. It's about learning. In other words, you ought to come out of whatever you will find yourself in a better person, because it's about growing. It's about, learning. So every time, it's unfortunate that we don't think about it like we are saying it now, that when you find yourself in conflict, it's not about you winning. It's not about ukuthi ngimtshelile mina, I told the person, ngimubherile, ngimuditse. Yeah, it's not about that. It's not I've set my mind. I don't care how they receive it. It's not about that. It's about growing. It's about learning. So healthy conflict is not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about growing. Even if you feel good, you know what? It's like I lost because I've been taken advantage of. Even if you feel like that, come to a point and say, did I grow? Did I learn anything from what went through and so forth? So it's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about growing. It's about learning. So healthy conflict, it's about growing. It's about learning. We learn in conflict. Wow. We learn in conflict. Let me say that quote again by Dr. John C. Maxwell. He says, conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. I just love this quote. Let's pause here. Conflict is like cancer. You detect it early, it increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. In other words, see problem early and solve them quickly. Wow. See problems early and solve them quickly. Let me know in the comment section what's your thought, your takeaway about what I just said now. See problems early and solve them quickly. Healthy conflict is not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. Wow. Conflict is inevitable. Inevitable. Conflict. No one here is immune to conflict. You are going, or maybe you are right now, or you will be in some way be involved in conflict. So no, it's conflict is inevitable. I'm just reminded of that guy, and I think it's the end game movie, and Thanos, he says, I am inevitable. And of course, the other one says, I am Iron Man. So conflict, you cannot avoid it. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, including in marriage. It's inevitable. The reality is that all couples are going to fight. Let's say that again. So the reality is this: all couples are going to fight. Wait. So do you mean that I'm in a relationship, I'm going to get into a fight? Yes, you are. You are going to fight. That's the reality, is that all couples are going to fight. But the best healthy couple fight clean. Wow. The best healthy couples fight clean. They fight fair. The fight is fair. The fight is clean. Unhealthy couples fight dirty in conflict. Wow. So it's like if you're going to have conflict, it's not a matter of if you are, it's a matter of when and how. It's how you are going to have conflict in your leadership. So conflict is inevitable. So you can't pray away conflict. It will come. You can't wish it away. It will come. It has to come. It's part of the journey. It is part of the journey. Wow. So let's recap. So, unresolved problems rarely fix themselves. Don't postpone problems. They need to be fixed. Change your mindset regarding conflict. Change how you think when you hear conflict or when you find yourself in conflict. Change the way, change your mindset. Get yourself a new set of glasses, new lenses. Conflict doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. No, it doesn't mean that. It actually often a chance to strengthen the relationship. Don't be afraid of conflict. Be afraid of unresolved conflict. So don't find yourself in this bad habit of avoiding conflict and think that, there are people who are called for conflict. We are all living in this life. We are going through, we'll find ourselves going through this. So don't be afraid of conflict. Be afraid of unresolved conflict. Wow. Sure. See problems early and solve them quickly. See problems early and solve them quickly. See them early. See the problems early and solve them quickly. Don't avoid, when you see a problem, don't behave as if there is no problem. When you know there is a problem, your problem is not really the problem you think you are having. Your problem is the real problem of you not seeing the problem early. Therefore, you have a problem that becomes a big problem. So see a problem early and solve the problem quickly. See it early and solve them quickly. It was John C. Maxwell who said, conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. So conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the likelihood of a positive outcome. See the problem early, solve them quickly. Wow. Be willing to hush it out and walk out united. Healthy conflict isn't about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. So healthy conflict isn't about winning, isn't about losing. It's about growing. It's about learning. So we learn in conflict. We grow in conflict. So I said earlier, if you want an opportunity to grow, and don't avoid conflict. Don't be afraid of conflict. Be glad you are in the conflict, But when you are in that, don't go with the mindset that I want to win the argument, win the battle, win whatever. Don't go with that mindset. Rather, say, I'm going to grow in this conflict. I am going to learn. Because healthy conflict is not about winning or losing. It's about growing and learning. Healthy conflict is about growing and learning. It's not about winning. So even if they win, let them win, but grow and learn. It's okay. Let them win. Let them win. Let them win. But the real winner, of course, it's you, because you are growing and you are learning. So healthy conflict, it's about growing. It's about learning. Wow. That's healthy conflict. It's about growing. It's about learning. So you can't avoid conflict. You cannot wish it away. You cannot pray it away. You cannot. You just cannot. You are going to find yourself some way or the other in conflict. You're going to find yourself there. And it's the realities that all couples, those who are in relationships, you fight and you're going to fight. But the best healthy couples fight clean, they fight fair. The unhealthy one fight dirty. We don't want to go there. But conflict will be there. The fights will be there. So, that's it for today. It was more about conflict, avoiding bad habits. So we started with avoiding bad habit. Habit number one. Bad habit number one is this one. Habit of doing too much. Habit of doing too much. That was the bad habit, number one. Number two is the habit of avoiding conflict. I don't know about you, but it's a tough one. It is a tough one. Enjoy the rest of your day as you reflect about avoiding, the bad habit of avoiding conflict. Don't be afraid of conflict. They are there for us to grow and to learn, and so forth. Let's meet again, then we can go through it again. When I do it in the morning, it's that I do it in the evening, and then so forth and so forth. So we'll see you. Be blessed and stay blessed. Sharp, sharp. Remember, don't be afraid of conflict. We grow in conflict. We learn in conflict. See you later. Sharp, sharp. Bye.